Today I'm joined by Charles Jackson, who is the Lincolnshire Provincial Almoner. Thanks for joining me today, Charles.
Pleasure.
Charles, what is the role of a good Lodge Almoner?
Well, I think the most important thing is for the almoner to be approachable. I think it's got to be somebody who people are happy to come and talk to. So the almoner needs to really integrate with everybody and get to know everybody in the lodge, so as they feel comfortable when they need to go to the almoner and talk to them if they need to.
Obviously, confidentiality must be a key in that role then.
It's very important, extremely important. More recently, we've been asked to not specifically mention a brother's illness. So we would say, instead of mentioning the actual illness itself, you would say that they're not very well and that type of thing, rather than being specific about an illness, unless you have the explicit consent of the brother to mention the illness. And also the other thing is that it's sometimes important to remember that you can give a situation away by just mentioning where a brother works or something like that.
The one thing I can only speak as for my own Lodge Almoner is that I just love the fact that he is the bridge between the Masons that don't turn up because of illness or just old age, but also the fact that they keep in contact with the widows. God forbid if I passed away, I just love the fact that there's some form of connection. Why do you think it's important to keep in contact with the widows?
Well, some of the widows are really appreciative of a visit and or telephone calls, just to keep in touch, just to really to for some continuity. Often the widows have been to ladies' nights and sometimes they're very lonely. Sometimes they're not very lonely. And there was an occasion where I phoned a widow quite often, and once a month or so, and I'm just chatting with her on the telephone, and she said, "Can I ask you a question? Are you lonely?" Thinking that I was phoning her because she thought that I was lonely, but it's my job, obviously, as an almoner, to keep in touch with.
So there's a lesson there for all almoners.
Exactly, yeah. You have to gauge whether or not people are happy for you to contact them, and gauge how often to contact them, because sometimes
it could be misconstrued.
Sometimes they don't want you to contact them quite as much. Yeah.
What else can almoners do for the lodge? And I know that the province has specifically had some training recently on mental health issues.
Yeah, we've done 2 courses at Lincoln for almoners. It was also extended to brethren for the 2nd course that was held, and there is a facility, if we want to hold another course. We can do that. So yeah, we've done that, and also we've done an almoners workshop recently in October for the almoners, and the visiting volunteer update as well, which we've done.
I'd like to come on and talk about the almoners and visiting volunteers in a second, but an important thing which is being driven home by the programme master, Jonathan Spence, is the 7-year strategy of membership and the pathway. And I didn't realise until today, but almoners are involved in this membership pathway, aren't they?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we after a brother has missed 2 meetings, Hermes contacts the almoner to let the almoner know. This is if the brother's not given apologies. So the almoner will receive an email, and then it's the almoner's role to chase that brother up and see that he's all right. It's a good tool, really.
In previous interviews I've had with other senior people in the province, they've said that the almoner is one of the avenues to access the funds from the MCF, and it absolutely amazed me that each year over 70 Freemasons in Lincolnshire get access to funds from the MCF. What is the role of the almoner in that?
It's the first port of call, really. The brother in need can go to the almoner, or they can actually phone the MCF directly themselves on 0800 035 6090. I hope I've got the number right. And the staff at the MCF are very good. They'll take the call and instruct either the advice and support team representative for our area, which is Andrea Welch, or one of our visiting volunteers. Our visiting volunteers do a fantastic job. There's 6 of them in total throughout the province, and they visit the brother or family member that's in need and take the information, assist them with filling in the paperwork and collecting supporting evidence, and then that's submitted to the MCF.
So they can either go, if a brother needs help, they can contact their almoner, and you've already said confidentiality is the key, or they can go direct to the MCF.
Yeah.
And one of the visiting volunteers, who's also a Mason.
Yeah, one of the, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's got to be really confidential, hasn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I must admit, I didn't even know they existed, so there must be
there is.
deep undercover.
Can I give them a name check?
Yeah, go for it.
So in the north, we've got Lawrence Railton.
Yep.
And then there's Mick Bolton at Louth, and coming down, we've got Barry Overton at Boston, Peter Tasker at Horncastle, and then in the deep south, there's Roy Ford.
Lovely. Obviously not giving any information away. Everyone's genuine with their need.
Yeah, as an almoner or a visiting volunteer, our job is to act in the best interest of the applicant. It's always the case that's what we must do, act in the best interest of the applicant, and we submit the information either to the MCF or to the Old Benevolent Fund, and it's for other people to decide that there's going to be turned down. It's not down to us.
You're just collecting evidence.
We collect the evidence, and we always act on the best interest. You know, we try and assist them.
What would your final message be to all the almoners and visiting volunteers on behalf of your role as the provincial mentor?
It's a huge thank you. It really is a huge thank you. I don't think sometimes that the almoners are given as much recognition as they should be. And I would personally just like to thank all of the almoners and the visiting volunteers for the hours of work that they do that's not seen. Nobody sees it. Nobody, apart from a report at a lodge where an almoner will give a report sometimes. Quite often a lot of the work's not seen. The telephone calls, it really is appreciated. Yeah.
Thank you for your time today, and thank you almoners and visiting volunteers.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you, Charles, for the job that you do for us.
Thank you.